So welcome. This is a test of ministering to those experiencing grief, which is the Stephen Ministry Continuing Ed for April 17th, 2019. So welcome. One of the first things that we need to think about is that grieving is natural. A lot of people think that grief is unnatural and that it should be avoided at all costs. Many people feel anxious around people who are grieving, so they avoid them. When they see someone crying, their first reaction is to try to stop that person from crying or to cheer that person up. If a person is grieving and they're expressing strong feelings, sometimes others will try to change the subject or avoid talking to that person about the person who died. And why do so many people do that? Well, it's because our society, to a great extent, has come to think that grieving is somehow unnatural or wrong. But we have to change our mindset around that. Grief is very natural. It's the natural process a person goes through when he or she adjusts emotionally and socially to life without a significant loved one. We don't need to feel uncomfortable with grief in ourselves or in others. So instead of shunning or avoiding grieving people, we need to accept them and empathically care for them. Also, people need to understand that not grieving is what's unnatural. In fact, when people hold on to their grief, they open up themselves to many more problems in the long run. And it's not unchristian to grieve. When Christians experience sadness and pain after a loss, it doesn't mean that they have a weak faith or that they don't trust in God enough. When Martha heard Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me will never die. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and was troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him.